All right, so I'm back for another one. I got my buddy Jeff with me, and we're gonna get to work on the 67 with the 396. So when I bought this thing, the fella I bought it from told me it had a bad head gasket, and he suspected this side. Never really explained why. So I decided I would do a leak down test on it with my nice little Amazon leak down tester, and it didn't work on here. So I pulled out all the plugs, and that didn't work on here. I didn't find one that actually, I was hoping to find one that was white. They were all just kind of oily. So I fired it up, let it run for a few minutes, and sure enough, I got white smoke out of this bank. So anyway, we decided we may as well just rip her down. I mean, could it be an intake gasket? It's possible. Could it be cracked head? It's possible. We hope not. Right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we hope not. But we're going to yank it off. We're going to yank the heads off and throw in some new gaskets and see where we go from there. So anyway, where we're at right now, we just drained the coolant system and took off the hood. And everything else you'll be a part of. I guess we may as well find a good spot for this thing. Okay, typically when we have smoke coming out the tailpipe and we suspect it's coolant, we normally think head gasket. So that's going to be the gasket between the head and the block. But something to remember is you can actually leak coolant from this passage into this passage into this passage. Even at the back where there's no crossover, you can still leak from one to the other. So it's definitely worth a look. And what we're looking for is a clear sign of coolant across. Like that's a little suspect there. But inside the cylinder would be cleaner than the others. Let's take a look down here at the gasket itself. I don't think it really wants to give up too much. So there's the other one there. I think we're going to continue on. And, well, here, maybe I'll knock that head off before we take a little break. So that bolt back there, that back one, I can't get that bolt out. And I hope somebody here remembers that. You can even see it back there. That guy right there. That guy will not come out because of the firewall. So that means I'm going to have to pop this head, and when I go to reinstall it, I'll have to half install that bolt before we get too far into it. There we go. There we go. This is a big moment. So if you remember, this is the head that was smoking. Let's see what we can see. Sorry guys. So that guy there is carboned up. That guy's clean. That guy's carboned up. That guy's carboned up. Let's see if we can see. I don't see any obvious signs of damage on this gasket. Maybe there. Kind of looks okay, to be honest. These are standard bores still. Well, that's cool. Hey, I wonder if we can get our... Oh, we'll have to clean that off and get our casting number. All right, and then on this guy, you can see this is the offender. The clean one. Dirty, clean, dirty, dirty. Cool. And you can see that spark plug's not really giving us much signs of evidence of what the cylinder itself is. Dirty, dirty, cleanish, dirty. All right. I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I'll come out here tomorrow with a fresh set of eyes. So that's all. I'm just trying to keep the dust and dirt out. I do plan on, I want to trim this frame a little bit. So the owner before me, when he got this, it already had a 396 in it. And the previous owner before him actually had to notch the frame out to get this style in here. So what I'm gonna do, because I have to do an out of province inspection and they're not gonna like that, I think I'm just gonna kind of taper it off here just to make it look a little bit better. And I don't want shavings and everything going up here, so that's what I'm gonna do. I might even take a little bit of tape and just seal that off so I don't get any grindings in there. And then I got to do the same thing on this side. You see it down there. This side's not quite so bad, so I think I can just kind of trim her straight up like this and that'll be fine. This side, gonna have to get a little more creative. I think I want to kind of bring it out like that. Kind of dip it behind that power steering. At any rate, I think I'll get started on that now. Alright, so here's what we finished up with. We'll have to kind of dirty that up a little bit so it doesn't shine, but looks pretty good, I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And let's go look at this side. Not bad. Better than that notch. Okay, well, maybe it's time to start thinking about putting this guy back together. Actually, I wouldn't mind cleaning it up and just put a little spritz of Chevy orange on that block if I could. Okay, so I got the heads just lightly scuffed and just kind of spritzed on a little bit of paint there. Yeah, you know, I'm not doing a full rebuild or restoration on it. I'm just trying to get the head gaskets done. So in here we have our head gaskets, we got our valve cover gaskets. We have all sorts of gaskets in here. I think it's a complete kit. We'll get our head gaskets on and then we'll get those heads placed on there. Over on this side, I'd considered trying to put some paint on the block, but you know, there's no two ways about it. There's no nice way to do that without making it look like garbage. So I'm just not going to do it. I think it'd be better just to leave it plain than get a bunch of overspray everywhere. Maybe this winter when we pull the motor out to reseal everything, you know, at that time we'll give it a paint job and blah blah blah. But for right now, I just really want to get this truck running so we can enjoy it this summer. I'll get those gaskets in there and we'll get these heads put on. Okay, so as you can see, that head is no longer down there. And I'll bring you over and show you why. So I was in here doing all my torques. You know how it goes with YouTube. You do one side first and then you do the other. That's just the way it works. And when I got, you know, everything's all torquing up just fine and dandy, and I get to my last one. It's always the last one, isn't it? And it just wants to pull through. The bolt doesn't tighten. Well, that's too bad. All right, so got to pull the head off and take a look, see what's going on. And I look and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll run a tap through there. I don't know. I think it's time for a helicoil. And then I look, have a little closer look here. And oh my God, there's a helicoil here. There's a helicoil here. I think that's a helicoil there too. And this helicoil and that helicoil, they're not even flush to the block anymore. I'm assuming when I pulled it out, it came up a bit. So there's two helicoils there. That far one, you can imagine, hey, that's going to be fun to get a drill in. It doesn't, the drill doesn't fit there. Not too sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm looking this direction down here. That's it. You can see it down there. So I'm kind of wondering if I pull this brake booster and master cylinder off and pull them out of the way, maybe I can get a drill down this way and get a helicoil in there. But that's not why you're here. So once I get that fixed and I get these two straightened away, I'll bring you back and we'll just continue on. Over here, I got this side torqued up. The first bit, I got it torqued up to 60 psi so far. I'm going to take her to 80 up here and 65 on the shorts. Maybe I'll do that now. What the heck? Oh no. Yep. We're gonna need another helicoil right here. All right, everybody's favorite YouTube star is back. CJ, say hi to the people, CJ.
Hi to the people.
Oh, never gets old. So here we are, helicoil time. That's what our head gaskets without swapping out a few helicoils. So this time, here we go. We're doing one on this side and one on the other side. I'll save you the dramatics of both sides. But of course we don't find out until you're doing final torque and she just drives right through that final torque, strips out. When we got into it, I looked a little closer, seeing we're not the first ones to put helicoils in this. She's got a few of them in there on both sides. So yeah, somebody really fed her the onions at one point, tighten her down, I guess. And now we'll throw a helicoil in both sides and we'll get back to business. Are we having fun yet? Absolutely not. These heads have been on and off a couple times already. Every time I get to final torque, something else strips out. And it's not fun. We got that one all helicoiled up and installed. This one, we had another fail on the back. I don't even know if I can get in there to drill it out. It is that very back one there. I don't even know if you can see it. And that and the firewall aren't going to play nice, and I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to pull that head off. I went over to Home Depot and picked up a right angle drill. I don't know if I even got room for that because my other drill is narrow side to side, but it comes up too far. So I'm hoping with the right angle drill that I can fit inside, you know, that little cutout there. I may have to cut the drill bit. I don't know. It's getting complicated. But let's get after it, I guess. Where am I going to put you guys? Is that a good spot to watch it? I don't know. Okay, so let's get on the page, same page of what's going on here. So this drill just doesn't really fit in here with the firewall. Can you see that? I'm up against the firewall. I got the wrong angle. Ain't gonna work. So what do? Well, I'm gonna try a little farmer ingenuity and cut a drill bit in half and use that. Well, first I tried to put the drill bit into my 90 degree I just went and bought, and yeah, it doesn't fit in there. Okay, so then I cut it in half and trimmed it down and put it in there, but she wobbles. I can't quite get it straight enough. So then I went out and bought a drill bit. 30 bucks for this drill bit. But I'm thinking it's gonna work. It's considerably shorter than this drill bit, which is good. And you know, because of this shank down here, it'll fit in there no problem. So let me get that set up and we'll try this again. Here we go. Come on. Okay. hoping that's good. Okay, so we got the heads on. You know, I was gonna throw the intake on and carry on, but I've decided, you know, I got the gasket kit. I may as well go ahead and change out these other gaskets. So you can see this oil pan's been beat up pretty good. You know, in its life, somebody actually brazed it here. So it was leaking. It maybe still is leaking. I'm not really sure. Everything's wet under here. I'm thinking probably the best thing to do is we'll drop this inspection plate for the transmission. We'll pull this oil pan. I'm hoping I got enough clearance to pull the pan under there. I don't know if you can really see. A bunch of weird angles and shadows, and I don't know if it's going to work out or not. I've had luck in the past dropping a pan with the inside the vehicle. If you move it to top dead center, let me see. You can kind of see down there. There's not a lot of room under that pan. But if I move it to top dead center, it pulls the, you know, the crankshaft as high as it's going to go. So if I'm going to have a shot, that'll be it. So what we'll do is we'll pull the pan. Figure we're that deep, we may as well keep going. And we'll pull this timing chain cover too, change the front seal, and I'll show you why. Let's go under here. Yeah. So if you can see that, that is actually the seal. That's it there, pushed out. So I'm assuming at some point somebody changed the pan and changed out the seal, or the, you know, the oil pan gasket, and it just pushed out there. Or maybe they changed the timing chain cover. I don't really know. At any rate, what I'm going to do is I ordered a new timing chain cover because it's so cheap, and a new oil pan as well, because this one's all beat up. Water pump seems okay, so I think I'll just remove that. We'll clean all that stuff up, get some fresh paint on it, reseal everything, throw it back together. So I think what I'll do is I'll start by yanking out this radiator, and we'll go from there. I'll pull the rad, I'll pull the fan, I'll pull the water pump, and then pull the timing chain cover, and then we'll head down below and pull that pan. Okay, so I popped the water pump out, 4 bolts there, no big surprise, and then this guy was bolted to the water pump as well. I'm gonna pop off Let me bring you in for a look. So our timing chain's a little sloppier than I'd like. You can tell by our 2 dots lined up here. So that's bottom dead center. So we're at top dead center for number 6 right now, but we're not at top dead center for number 1. You can see down here, this wasn't, it's got paint on it, so it stuck to the paint, but the paint didn't stick to the pan. Somebody had painted the inside of the pan, that stuck to the paint, but not the pan. So that's why she's puking down there. Then up top here, that's just straight block. Let's take a look at that timing cover. I don't see a gasket. So there's no gasket there. Is there no gasket here? That's impossible. Oh no, it's there. It's just that hard. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, it's just time for a replacement. Okay, so I got the timing cover off. I got her cleaned up. I did find that. I don't know if you can see it very well on camera. But yeah, she's cracked. She's got a couple cracks in there actually. So I don't know if the last time this water pump was done, they didn't clean out the hole before they bolted it back together, but she's definitely cracked. I am going to just kind of clean her up and hopefully she holds pretty good. I did run my finger through inside here. It feels like there's nothing really wrong. It feels like it's probably just out here. I don't think the crack goes that far. Hope not anyway. So I'm not going to let that slow us down at all. We're just going to keep carrying on. I'm going to go down and drop the pan now. And hopefully that gets us where we need to be. As I'm hoping we can clear everything down here. I'm not too sure. Let's go down and find out right now though. I have one bolt left. There's no magic to pulling the pan, just a series of 1/2-inch little bolts there. And she comes down. This is my last one. I don't know if I'm going to clear the crank. I don't know if I need to lift the motor. Some guys say you do, some say you don't. What I did do is I put it in top dead center. So hopefully that can help clear. That doesn't seem like we're clearing. Okay. Maybe I need to maybe if I drop this oil filter, it might give me a little wiggle room. Nope. That ain't happening. I think we're gonna have to lose the motor mount bolts and lift this motor a bit. Yep. That's all there is to it. All right. Let me lose these bolts. So it's that guy there on this side. Right there. And then same thing on this side, but it's the head of it's on the other side. So we'll have to pull those guys and we'll lift the motor up. Okay. So up top I just disconnected the two motor mounts and lifted her up a couple inches. And look at that, we got her out. Cool. That was way easier. Okay. Look at all that silicone. There's even silicone in the oil pickup. What the heck? Well, They didn't want it to leak, I'll give them that. It did, it leaked everywhere, but okay. You can see how much we got it lifted there off the motor mount. It's not much, maybe 1.5 inches, both sides. Okay. Well, I'm going to clean this oil pan up. Nothing to see there. I'll come back. 5/8, 9/16 maybe even. Oh, 5/8. Then we got to pop out these 2 bolts. Let's do that next. There we go. And this will give us access to that rear seal. We'll just tap that out of there. Whoa. Okay, so try not to catch that with your knuckle, because that hurt. But hey, good news is we do have a seal back here. I don't know if we had a seal on the... Okay. So it looks like this guy was just kind of flush. Some guys offset them, kind of half up, half down. Okay, let me see if I can show you. So you can see this guy's just flush across. Some guys offset that so it's high here and low here. But that's how that one was. Let me see if I can find something to push that seal out with. All right. I hope you guys can see. All right. So what I'm going to try and do is poke it this way. So a lot of guys, I hate it when people say a lot of guys, but if you use, something metal, you have a chance of marring this, and I really don't want to do that. So I took a little model paintbrush and I just cut off the brush end. So now I got this little wooden stick. I'm gonna try and drive it through with that. Oh, that didn't work very good. There we go. Once you get it going, you can just reach up and pull her on through the rest of the way. Just like that. It's pretty good. All right, let me grab the new one and we'll throw that guy up there. All right, so let's get her in there. Oh, shit. So there you go. The very reason why they give you that piece of paper that I didn't get this time, which I should have probably waited on and went and got it. Yeah, that's why. Shave a little bit off. So anyway, we got her on there though. Now let's swap out the other one here. Okay, so I put just a smidge of silicone on the end of each of these. And now I'm going to just layer it back up into place here. And okay, so the new pan is in. I brought you guys under with me, but I knocked over the camera, so you can get to see any of the fun stuff. But let me just kind of recap it for you. This takes about 4 times as long to put in as it took me to take out. I did go ahead. I don't know if you can see it in the side there. I put in that one piece gasket. I really like those. I've only used them a couple times, but I had no issues either time. I put them in completely dry, except in the corners. I just put a little dab of silicone. Just has a little bit of protection. But that's it. Like for the long runs and for the back and the front, that all goes in completely dry. We did the rear seal, so that's done. Of course, we did the front seal, front timing, chain cover. Oh, I'll go up and take a look over there. Yeah, we did a little spritz on the water pump there. That's all back in there. I guess can't really see that timing chain cover too well, but it's on there. That's pretty much where we're at. I'm gonna call her a night and go in. CJ's gonna come back in the morning. I think we'll go ahead and set these valves, throw on the intake, throw in the new distributor, new valve covers, new air cleaner, and we'll fire this puppy up and see how she goes. All right, hang tight. Okay, now for more disappointing news. Actually, it's not so bad. So this is the Amazon, or maybe I got this off eBay. Either way, it's a Chinese ripoff, no name intake manifold. And at first glance, it seems like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. That, you know, looks the same. I'm sure it's the same. Well, there are some slight differences. First thing I notice is if you're trying to use a flange bolt, you know, a flange on the end of your bolt like this, it ain't gonna fit here. It ain't gonna fit here. It ain't gonna fit here. It ain't gonna fit here, but it will everywhere else. I also got some intake manifolds bolts off of Amazon too, and they seem to me to be too long. These would be for like a stock manifold maybe. They seem a bit long for what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to run off to JB's and get some intake manifold bolts. I'm also going to get some plugs for these guys. You know, I know you can run a crossover on them. A lot of guys do. I never have, and I don't think I'm going to start today. Oh, bolt works good there. But anyway, yeah. So the fitment is actually good here. I think you just need to keep in mind about your intake manifold bolts. I'm just gonna go get the ones with an Allen head. They're just like a cap screw. They're a little smaller, and I don't know, they work. So why not just use those? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll go get those, come back, and we'll throw a bead of silicone on here, and we'll get this done. I may as well pick up these caps while I'm there too. Maybe some nice aluminum ones if they got them, or chrome ones. We'll see. What is that, a 1/2 inch? Something like that? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, where are we at? We got our valve covers on, we got our intake on, we got our carb on, we got our thermostat housing on, all our hoses are back on, we got our distributor in. We're ready to go. I don't know how close we are for timing. I hope we're good. We'll find out. Right, Chicken Louie.
Ready?
Yep. Oh, here's where we're at. She's leaking. Sucks. But live and learn. Pretty sure that head gasket failed.
I'm gonna go home and cry.
CJ's gonna go home and cry. Live and learn. What can you do? Right, Siege?
Scream into the void.
Well, after that epic fail, it's actually the intake manifold. You see it down there. It's the intake manifold leaking down off the back of the transmission back onto the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling this intake manifold off, and I'll put the factory one back on. So hang tight. We'll get started. Okay, it's the next day now, and the reason for that is because of that. The right stuff didn't really seem like the right stuff to me. It was still wet when I took it apart. So I decided to let this sit overnight. It's been almost 24 hours, really. She should be good to go. I don't know about my timing. Hopefully it's pretty good. Here, you want to take that? Sure. Oh, look who's here. My good buddy Jeff. There you go. Let's see what happens. I think we got a success. But overall, what do you think, Jeff?
I think it's gonna be okay.
I think it's going to be okay too. You want the final word?
No. I'll pass.
You'll pass. All right. Well, if you stuck around this long, think about like, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. That's going to do it for this one. 396 head gaskets, oil pan, time and chain cover, intake manifold 2 times. We got it all, don't we?
Yeah. Now you just gotta finish it.
Now we just got to finish it. All right. So we'll get some tires on this thing. We'll get her outside and we'll go for a rip.